But if I was to get started again, I'd probably say right off the bat, I would just like go through the ads library and look at like key verticals and just like create a swipe kit with every single vertical in it. I basically doubled my revenue on a monthly basis. And the one key change I made, I'd want to create a 10 creative every single time. So I'd go into Walmart, I'd actually like film video ads and stuff. But I kind of got away from that because it's not really, it's hard to do and it's hard to be super, super creative. Like I think you want to go for like a 6 or 7 creative out of 10 and be able to do that like in large proportions. So that's when I switched over to that. That really kind of took me to the next level.
All right, guys, we got another one in the mix here, and we got the wonderful Hunter Code here. What is going on, buddy? Code is your last name, right?
Yeah, it's my real last name. It's
oh, okay.
It doesn't help with biz dev because people always think I'm like a pseudo, like some pseudo name or something that I'm using.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. So, dude, let's just start off with this. You just told me something so cool. You are regularly from Florida. You're in Tampa, right?
Yeah, I moved there around 2 years ago.
Nice. And so, but now you are currently in Ukraine to set up an office.
Yeah, so I kind of do the unorthodox thing a lot of times. I've had a really good run with some Ukrainians in the past, and even with my current team, like my developers out in Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine. And I just think they're like great hires overall. So I've actually just moved here temporarily for about 3 months to train media buyers and also just an ops person.
That's cool. Dumb question for that. Do you have to have a visa or anything to come through and do that, or?
Yeah, it's Ukraine. There's some workarounds for this kind of stuff. You pay the right person, you grease the right wheels, and you're good to go.
Interesting. Oh, that's super cool, man. And like in terms of like safety, how do you feel there, like right now?
So I was in Kyiv like 2 months ago, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Here, it's not really anything crazy. Like we get the alarms going off and everything, but it's more, it's a lot more relaxed than the capital for sure, because we're on like the Western front.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I got a tech guy out of there, and like I don't know exactly where he is, but every once in a while he's like, yeah, we're going to a shelter for a bit. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's definitely pretty bad in a lot of areas. Fortunately, at least right now, it's not bad here.
Dude, I thought that shit was over, but I don't know. I guess I'm off on that.
Just not in the news. Yeah, it doesn't make the news cycle.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, man. So let's go back here and kind of dig into like the affiliate side of things, the lead gen side of things, and just the internet side of things, and kind of tell us how you got started in this space, because you've been doing it for a bit now.
Yeah, so I worked like going way back. I mean, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Even in high school, I was reading about Warren Buffett and stuff, but I didn't quite know how to do it, and I was doing it kind of all the wrong ways. So in high school, I actually started a recycling business. So I'd go door to door and like knock on, grandma's house and say, hey, I'll pick up your recyclables on the weekend, and we'll split it 50-50. Because in California, when you bring them in, you get paid. Like a lot of times for a whole bag of recyclables, you'll get paid like $50.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I'd go on the weekends and just knock door to door when I was in high school, and just that was like my first go around. I remember also like Blogspot was really popular back then. So
I remember that.
So people would write blogs. So I tried to start writing blogs and getting like paid on a PPC basis. Like, and none of this stuff really worked. So, but I didn't go to college because I didn't think it'd really be valuable for what I wanted to do. So I started working like sales jobs. Fast forward to when I was about 24. I was working for Sprint, actually right off the Vegas Strip. And, I just started, I joined one program, and I started doing drop shipping.
Oh, interesting. What was that first program you did?
I don't even remember the name. It was like, it wasn't
Yeah.
like, it was one of like the Adrian Morrison type guys, but I forget his exact
Yeah.
name.
Got it.
But we ended up doing pretty well with that, and I scaled the store, but I kind of like got too, I grew too fast a little bit, and I was working with a Chinese agent, and he was sending me these tracking numbers, and after about like 2 weeks, these people started messaging me saying they didn't get the shipment, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty
Yeah.
normal. They can take a month, but I started checking the tracking numbers, and half of them weren't moving. So this guy was
Oh,
sending me
interesting.
like tracking numbers for each one, but only
Yeah.
shipping about half of them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, did you get a lot of chargebacks, or you just do the full refund thing just to like save your probably Stripe at that time because you were doing Shopify, I'd assume.
Yeah, I ended up like, so I had good enough margin where I could fulfill still like some of the ones that I had shipped, but I ended up just like
Nice.
refunding a bunch of them.
Oh yeah. That's interesting. Do you remember your first product that kind of like popped off?
So we had these, so we had these photochromic like lenses for cycling that were doing pretty well. There was like one of them. So basically
Yeah.
during the day and the night, the lens would change.
Yeah.
And then the other one was like around women's clothing. It was doing pretty well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How many how many years did you run that store for?
I think it was only like less than a year before I got screwed, and
Oh,
then I'm like,
interesting.
I kind of just dropped out of drop shipping. I went more to agency style, like past that point.
Oh, interesting. Got it. So you created an agency, and did you have like a bunch of clients?
Yeah, I had a bunch of clients. This is like now we're talking like during like COVID times,
Yeah.
and I like just kind of hated it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was kind of
Just like getting told what to do, or
yeah, just having to like I don't know, they were kind of like low level clients, and you have to like
Yeah.
get on calls with them, and I just wanted to like run
that's
ads.
fair.
That was kind of like why I was kind of geared, like started moving towards like affiliate stuff in general.
Interesting. Yeah, the interesting's interesting, man, if like you like dealing with people and stuff, and like, man, I know people that have made fuck you money from agency stuff, and like they still do, but I often feel that it's depending on how your agency set up, like traditional style, I find it's like you just always have to be selling your services constantly because clients jump off, right? Because I think I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's challenging to keep the consistent result throughout the entire year, especially if you're solely relied on like Meta or something. And I don't think that like general companies understand the roller coaster of that, right? So yeah, I think like it's a constant circle of hire or getting new clients, losing clients, hiring new clients, losing clients, so on and so forth. And it's just like, dude, it seems like a headache to me, but
Yeah, and it doesn't scale that well too. Like it's too people dependent when you start to scale it. That's a big component.
interesting.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
you need so many
that's
people
true.
in the puzzle to make it work when you get more clients.
Yeah. All right. So after that, what was kind of like your introduction to like affiliate stuff?
Damn, I don't even remember. I'd always known about affiliate stuff like back
Yeah.
2017, but I didn't quite know how people were doing it.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few people I knew in the space that were like running different VSL stuff.
Yeah.
So what I started doing is start researching it, and then I eventually came across you and a few other guys, and that's kind of when I joined your program.
Oh, that's cool, man. What was like, how did you find us? Like the podcast was first?
I think it was through the podcast. It might have been through YouTube. I can't remember which one was first, but when you search affiliate stuff, you're one of the top guys that comes up. So I think that's
Interesting. Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate you buying my course, man.
yeah, definitely well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, one thing I liked about you is like you would always before you used to always jump on the calls and stuff and get super involved, and like You actually, you brought a lot of info to the table. Well, you seem like a very resourceful dude when it comes to stuff. Even though, yeah, like despite what niche you were trying, you kind of always had like some pretty good insights into stuff. And it seems like you're always testing new products in terms of like tech and so on and so forth. With that, I think that like you put yourself in a good position because you did sort of narrow down a niche and you kind of just dove really hard into that. How many, so where you're at now, and I won't give away where you're running, but like before you were really kind of bouncing around in terms of like different affiliate offers and testing different things now. What made you move in the direction you're going in now? And what did you sort of learn from that in a sense of like just honing in on one niche, going deep in that way and finding success?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I've definitely expanded into more as well. And that's been a big component
Yeah.
for me. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So that's part of why I'm here as well, is I'm hiring a biz dev just to help find offers,
Yeah.
because I've got a pretty good system for finding new people that want, traffic.
Yeah.
So I think that's a key one of the key components to, why I've done pretty decent so far, is just that I'm able to find offers. And, to be honest, it's not rocket science. Like what these networks are doing is not some magical spell that they put on these buyers.
Yeah.
I'll give you one good example. One of the buyers I found, I actually saw an ad in the ads library and did some research, looked through their privacy policy, and then found out who the company was. And then I just Googled them, and I was eventually able to go down the rabbit hole to where I found a phone number, and I just called the person.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Dude, but so here's the thing, like most people aren't going to fucking do this in this space. They're just going to solely rely on the affiliate managers to give them, hey, this is the top offer, go at it, right?
Yeah.
Versus like, from what it sounds like now is you're expanding out and only going direct on stuff, or do you still run some affiliate linked?
No, definitely
offers?
we're still running some affiliate stuff, like,
Yeah.
the standard gambit. But
Yeah.
I'm trying not to do a crazy amount of that. But I just hired 3 media buyers, so I'm going to give them a lot of different offers.
Yeah.
Me personally, I
Yeah.
kind of had direct offers I was running mainly. But with the team, I'm going to expand out a little bit, and I'm really just going to throw them in the fire and see if we can, if they want to test something, like I have pretty decent info on what's working. So I'm going to open the floodgates.
That's pretty cool. How have you, do you have any media buyers? Like, I know you just hired these 3, but do you have anyone previous to that you've sort of like ran through everything in terms of like testing, getting new offers live, so on and so forth?
No. So so I did have a media buyer, and funny enough, this was during the agency days. I trained this guy up, and I was talking to one of my friends when we went to Mykonos to go to that event, the Greek Out event down there.
Greek Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greek Out, yeah.
And he posted a story, and I was in it. I guess one of his media buyers saw it, and he said, "Oh, I know that guy. That was my first hire." So I had hired him, and now he's actually working with one of my friends.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and
that's super cool, man.
Yeah, he's a solid guy. Another reason I'm here is partially because of that guy as well. Just, every hire, well, not every, but most of the hires I've had here are pretty solid guys and, able to work hard.
Yeah. They're pretty hungry over there too, right? Like, I think that's one thing that's pretty cool is they're hungry, and they're generally decent at speaking English on some level. Versus like, I just had this conversation, like we love our Filipino outsourcers, but there's a big gap in terms of their like yes men versus like Ukrainians are not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's huge. Like they'll actually give you proper feedback versus like a Filipino who's just always worried about getting fired.
Yeah, Filipinos can be a little bit tricky too, because everybody's had the experience where they're always, there's a tsunami coming through, or they're always sick, or their mother's in the hospital.
Yeah.
There's definitely good ones for sure, but there's definitely a culture of trying to get the most for while doing the least, I would say, and
Yeah.
a certain percentage of them.
It's funny because like my head Filipino girl, who I like fully trust, like she's awesome, but her town, she's like, yeah, we don't have Wi-Fi or we don't have internet, and like we don't know when we're gonna get it. It's like the whole city's out.
Wow.
And I believe her, like I trust her
Yeah.
because she found like she messaged me on the most like random way to message me. But yeah, man, it's funny because like we all have had that story, dude, and like they're always like trying to borrow money or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I need a new laptop. Please send me this. But yeah, okay, that's cool, man. So you haven't dug into training up the media buyers yet. That's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how that goes for you because like one of the biggest thing that we've had is just coming up with like steady testing practices, right? Because like we've done everything from like minimum ad tests, so on and so forth, and we've definitely hit like roadblocks in that sense, in terms of getting stuff profitable. So what happens is we end up just getting like we have like our core 4 niches, and we basically just run that and then throw in tests here and there. But I find that rarely the new offers we test actually take off.
Interesting.
Which is definitely interesting. But yeah,
Do you-
I'm
do
curious
you-
to see how that goes for you.
Do you think that's an offer issue, or do you think that's a talent issue?
So I think media buyer talent is valuable but overrated on some level. I think it plays a part. Like as long as they understand the systems and they know how to scale and so on and so forth, like I think anyone can sort of media buy at some level. Like we have really good media buyers and they're veterans at it, so they know the ins and outs of it. But I think the creative side is really what's the moving part right now, and then also good offer, because if you try and take a mediocre offer, like it's never gonna fucking scale no matter how good your creatives are, we find anyway. And then in terms of like everyone's thinking like, oh, this like campaign structure and this campaign setup's working and this isn't, and so on and so forth. And I feel like there's some truth to that, but at the end of the day, if you have like a killer creative, it's going to work in any sort of setup. So I think the media buyer's biggest value is understanding the niche and coming up with the proper creatives that work for that niche. But yeah, I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I actually just bought chadvertising.com just for this
Nice.
this simple fact. I think that like CBO, ABO, bid cap, lowest cost is all overrated. You know, how you set it up. As long as you're not doing link click ads, I think it all is like, it adds up to like 10% of performance. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What really matters is creative.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm training.
I think that's smart, man. And I think that I think we live in a world where fresh creatives and like new concepts and stuff work really well. But I also feel that like there's still a world where rip and run can sort of give you results, and kind of like point you in the right direction. So it's, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is just about creative. It's funny, man, because I've even noticed lately in my course group calls, it's like the number one thing people are asking, like, oh, how do I set up this? How do I do this in terms of like a campaign structure? And there's like 3 different guys on the call making it work different fucking ways.
Yeah.
So it's like from like a teacher standpoint, I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I guess like this is how I'm doing it and this is what's working for me. But you just got to really hone in on the creative side of things and just like pump out good creative.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. The creative process overall is super important. And that's why I think like one place that a lot of affiliates lack in is like copywriting.
yeah,
Being able to write good copy is so important. I mean, I was just going through a few different copy courses, and I came up with a good like new CTA just based on what I was reading, which I can go into if you want. I can kind of just like give a real world example.
I would love that, man.
Yeah.
Like I think that copy doesn't get talked about enough, and I think also now what people are doing is they're really just heavy leveraging Chat GPT or some sort of other
Yeah.
AI, which I think does work if you have great structure and bones in there.
Mhm.
But I don't know if it's ready to fully replace a human in terms of
Yeah,
that.
I think the big idea it doesn't do a good job. The big idea of the ad, of the angle, if you will, it
Yeah.
doesn't do a good job of coming up with. And you do need to feed it good scripts to get good output. You can't just say, "Hey, like write me a Windows ad." It's not gonna write it for
Yeah.
you. You know. Um,
Yeah.
so, but I'll give you a good example, real world example. So I was studying a little bit of some different copy content, and I came across this interesting study about the like late night infomercials. So
Yeah.
the CTA on late night infomercials used to be call now, agents are standing by, and that was like
Yeah.
the common way to do it. But then a copywriter came around and thought a little bit about that, and she actually came up with call now if you don't get through the first time, hang up and call again.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound that crazy, but it's just the level of copy I feel like within that is pretty insane, and being able to reinvent the CTA is like pretty cool. So I actually you know, in that way, because most people are just doing like pretty standard like CTAs. So
For sure.
I actually took that and changed a lot of my own endings of my ads. So instead of like click the link below and fill out the form to see if you qualify, I changed the ending to be click the link below if the site's loading slow due to I forget the exact language, but due to overload, reload the site and try to submit the form again. So basically, just
That's amazing.
playing on virality and like social proof. I think like little things like that you can do within copy, and it's really like for me it's a really fun thing to like study, and you can
Yeah.
take your creatives to the next level with it, which I think is a big miss for a lot of people.
It's pretty interesting, man, because like most people that come through my course, there's and the ones that are more successful than the others, is like there's always a few commonalities in it. And like number one is networking. Like every person that I see that comes through that just like really gets out networking, you see them at tons of events, you see them in the chats, you see them everywhere. Those guys are always successful. The second is people who learn how to do copywriting. Like a shout out to Robert, man. Like that kid crushed it for fucking ever on auto insurance and home insurance. And he all he did was image ads, but just like really honed in on the copy. And he would write tons of fucking copy. Same with Vivek. Vivek was always writing a shit ton of fucking copy as well. And then the third element is the creative process and videos if they go that route. And really honing in on the quality of the video. And I'm not talking about like production quality, but like the hooks, the flow, the transitions, the pain points, all that stuff. And I think that those are the three major things where I always see people fucking winning with. Um, the other thing is, I guess I said three, but those are the main three. Um, the other one is just like the people that test more, like to just test way, way more. But in terms of skill sets, I would say copy is definitely like one of the number one things that pushes people forward.
For sure. Yeah. I recommend everybody go through like something like Copy Hour, which is just like the like one of the courses where every single day I think it's for 3 months, they email you a piece of copy and you just sit down and handwrite it. That helped me out
Oh,
quite a
that's
bit.
cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Handwriting copy is big. Just studying great like sales letters is huge because how they can spin like normal stuff to sell it's fairly interesting. And like thinking about that from like an ad standpoint, you can take it so far.
I think it's interesting too because it's one of those skill sets that can just serve you for the rest of life. Like regardless of if you're in this space or not, I think being able to craft a good message or a good letter or even like a good post or like whatever, I think there's big value in that. Do you think that your life as like a salesperson has helped get you to kind of where you are and helped you with the like creative process as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I when I got out of high school, I kind of just wanted to throw myself into something that, because I in high school I was like a nerd. I wasn't really
Yeah,
popular. Um,
we all were, buddy.
yeah, yeah. So I kind of wanted to throw myself into more of a sales position, and not to go too in depth, but my mom got me a job at a grocery store as my first job. I was like bagging groceries.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I
Yeah.
just like quit. I told my manager I quit. I'm gonna go. I worked in a car wash repairing rock chips because I just wanted to talk to people and try to sell them on like,
Yeah.
rock chip repair. So me and my buddies, a few
Yeah.
different friends got together and we started doing that. And that was kind of like, it wasn't really to make the money. It was just because I wanted to get out of my shell and kind of,
Yeah.
put myself in a stressful situation so that I could build that skill set. And I think that's like helped me immensely, and everything.
How old were you at that time?
I must have been like 18. It was like right
Dude,
when I
that
right out of
thought
school.
process itself, yeah, that thought process itself is fucking wild for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's interesting, dude. Like, you never hear about people being like young kids, like 18, I guess is young, but being like, oh yeah, I just want to put myself in a weird situation where I have to be forced to talk to people so I break out of my shell. What was your reasoning behind that? Do you remember?
Like all through high school, I was just studying. And that's kind of why I didn't
Yeah.
want to go to college as well, because I just thought it was like a massive scam. Like
Yeah.
I even talked to people that have marketing degrees, and I try to figure out what they taught them for these 4 years, and I can't really figure it out. But yeah, I mean I just was listening to a lot of motivational stuff, and all through high school, and a lot of business courses. I think it might have been actually Robert Kiyosaki, because he used to talk a lot about like
Oh,
sales
interesting.
and stuff. Yeah.
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 That's cool. So it sounds like you've been reading like kind of like self-help or business related books forever then.
Yeah, for quite a while. But I'm not like these kids nowadays where I was like successful right out of high school. It was, it was definitely a grind. Like I definitely had to put in the work before I made any kind of money.
It's funny because of like, just like, I guess my algo and my age group and so on and so forth. So I don't really see a lot of these like super young hustlers, but someone passed one on to me the other day on X. And I was like looking through his shit and I was like, bro, this guy's like 23 and he's got like $1 million worth of cars. And like, regardless if that's faked on some level, you still got to make those fucking payments. Right.
Yeah.
So this dude's making some cash, right? Like he lives by himself. And I was like, dude, when I was 22, I was like working the shitty ass job and stuff. And these kids are just out here like cranking cash. And then I went deep on his like YouTube a little bit, and it's wild the potential that these younger dudes have and the level they can hit at such a young age. It just makes me think like, where the fuck are you going to be when you're 40, man? Like that's nuts to me. And I think that's so cool, especially in the space we're in. Like you said, you didn't go to college. And I almost think that like, unless there's specific things that you want to do, like let's say doctor, lawyer, whatever it may be, engineer maybe, I don't think that schooling is really the answer if you just want to get rich and create like a cool life.
Yeah, I think it's some like 40% of people never even use their degree, and it's just insane.
I believe that, man.
I not to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but I just think it's like these school counselors are like salespeople they're selling like a bad product. If we tried to sell like the same thing for like
sure.
$100,000 in our space, we'd have the FTC all over us. We'd probably be in, prison. Like, and they're, I don't know. I think that it's putting a lot of young people in a really bad position, overall.
Yeah, I agree, man. And even now, like that I'm a father, I constantly think about like, well, what do I tell my kid, like what to do? And like, even now we're just thinking about like, cause he's not there yet, but he's going to be going to like kindergarten and middle schools and stuff like that. And we're like, even this week we have interviews at random non-traditional style schools. Like there's one here called like Alpha School and like shit like that. And it's like AI based, or there's business based ones and like all this kind of shit. So I think schooling as a whole is going to change a lot and hopefully be more valuable. But I think the traditional like school system is just going to be obsolete, and you're going to see more and more people creating their own schooling or just removing their kid directly out of school and university and just teaching them, or like courses. Like think about like all the different cool courses you can take online that are so valuable, regardless if you want to become a professional piano player or like, I don't know, train horses. Like there's courses for that shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the world's shifted quite a bit. Most
Yeah.
the economy that even like my parents grew up in, where you could just coast
Yeah.
along at a job for 40 years, is no longer exists. To a large extent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think there's definitely a necessity for school, especially with stuff like, or some kind of certification course for things like doctors and
Yeah.
lawyers and things like this. But for the most part, I think like most degrees are just, I don't know any other way to put it other than like a scam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think that, yeah, I don't know. I just hear about people that have spent so much on degrees and never using them. And then they're like, dude, just paying that shit off for fucking ever. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But I mean, learning experience, I guess, for those people, and they figured out what they didn't want to do and moved on to something else. So,
For sure.
all right, man, let's go back to the internet marketing shit. You gave us some really cool shit on copywriting and just what you're going to test now. In terms of like, do you want to talk about what like your main focus, or do you want to skip that? And you don't have to go into like detail on it, but I do think that there's value in talking about like how you've decided to go direct to buyers on a lot of your stuff and sort of build up that. Cause I'm assuming that's the backbone of your business on some level. And we can just label it broadly like legal. Is that cool?
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of things in legal. So
Yeah.
I'm not focused on one. So that's actually a good description of it at this point, is
Cool.
I'm kind of across the board.
What made you go that route? Like what made you decide like, hey, I'm going to go like, cause most people when they get into lead gen, they're like, oh, I'm going to do auto insurance and hey, I'm going to do some roofing or windows or whatever the fuck it's going to be. But ever since I've known you, it seems like you've always had a pulse on legal and gone that route.
Yeah. So a funny story. I was in a cigar lounge in Tampa.
Yeah.
And
With Tyler?
no, not with Tyler. But I was just by myself. I'd actually flown over to the city to see if I wanted to move there, because I was just vetting a few different places to move to, and that was about 6 months before I made the official move. But I was sitting in a cigar lounge, ended up talking to this guy, and he was a partner at a big law firm out of Michigan. And we got to talking. And he actually just pulled out his laptop because we got to talking about ads. And I basically just told him his ads suck. And let's like work on some kind of CPA deal. On getting this running. So long story short, I'm still working with him. He's one of the direct firms we do have. That was kind of the catalyst, if you will, for getting me into that. And then, started going to a lot of different events, and that kind of drove me down that route.
That's pretty cool, man. Like it kind of shows like just being social and like networking gets you ahead, which proves back to my top 3 success points of this space, That's super cool, man. How come Tampa has so many fucking cigar lounges? Like I've never been anywhere that has more cigar lounges, or maybe I'm just like exposed to them because Tyler's obsessed with them.
Yeah.
But every time I go, I'm like, no, I do not want to sit inside a cigar lounge for fucking 2 hours while you guys like rip like massive sticks and I just stink. My whole luggage when I go home smells like a dumpster.
Yeah, it's because of Ybor. I don't know if you know the history there, but there's
no.
They basically they I don't know exactly what year, but a guy, I think he came down from Cuba and started a factory, a cigar factory in Ybor, which is a city out of right in the center of Tampa.
Oh, cool.
And that's kind of how it started. But I think it's like the #1 city for cigars now in the U.S.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I believe that. Like that chapel place is pretty fucking cool. Like if anyone who doesn't know, it's an old church that's turned into a cigar lounge, and it's just like massive. So
Yeah, that place. I used to go there all the time. I met Tyler actually a few times there. He was always rolling in with Romano and the whole crew. That
yeah,
was like the hangout
Romano. I
spot.
miss that. I miss Romano. I haven't seen that dude forever,
Yeah,
man.
good guy.
Yeah, solid guy. All right, man. Well, that's pretty cool. I think we're getting to the point where we can start wrapping this up pretty quick. But one thing I did want to sort of touch on is like, if you were to tell people in the beginning, like when you got into this affiliate and lead gen space, what would you tell someone that wants to get into it and how to sort of fast track it to where you are today? What advice would you give that person?
Yeah, so it's difficult. I guess I can go a little bit into what I think you need to be the right person first off. I don't think you, but I think by nature, if you are looking to get into it, you're probably on the path to where you could be successful in it. But it's definitely something where it's all performance based. Like you can't sit on your ass and make money, right? But if I was to get started again, I'd probably say right off the bat, I would just like go through the ads library and look at like key verticals and just like create a swipe kit with every single vertical in it. And then I'd also say, going back to touching on what I said earlier, I would study copy. I think it's extremely important. Being able to write. And then like one other switch. So recently I started doing a lot better than, well, I basically doubled my revenue on a monthly basis. And the one key change I made, well, there's a few key ones, but one was that, so before I'd be super, like I'd want to create a 10 creative every single time. So I'd go into Walmart, I'd actually like film video ads and stuff. But I kind of got away from that because it's hard to do and it's hard to be super, super creative. Like I think you want to go for like a 6 or 7 creative out of 10 and be able to do that like in large proportions. So that's when I switched over to that. That really kind of took me to the next level, to where we're
So yeah, that's cool. But what did you change? Like, so instead of going to Walmart and recording your own video and stuff, and I think this is really valuable, because if you put huge barriers in front of yourself for creation, it's going to be easier for you to opt out of that.
yeah.
So what did you do instead of those super complex videos?
Yeah, so now it's more just like pretty simple, like creatives. Not they're still have like good copy and everything in it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
These take me 10 minutes to write now, versus like taking me
nice.
like an hour to like think of the concept and then like another hour to go film it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now what I've done is just more mass production. So now my editors send me anywhere from like 50 to 100 videos a day. And that's
Interesting.
tend to work a little bit better for me, versus like the previous approach.
Question on that. So are you giving him like a UGC of like yourself or an actor that you hire with like a quick script that you've banged out, and then he's like creating a bunch of versions from that? Like, how many original scripts are going into that 50 to 100 creatives every day?
Probably only like four, like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they're just making
really
like
focused on hooks and
yeah. Well, you can make 50 videos out of one video very simply by just having like different hooks and having different bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing. So it's not like we're writing a bunch of scripts every day, but I'm getting like fresh creatives. There's like small changes between all of them,
Yeah.
but going back to your point, going back to what you asked earlier, we're not really filming too much right now. It's more like all AI focused for the most part.
Oh, interesting. So are you using like AI UGC, or are you using like, I guess like, yeah, AI UGC, or are you using just like a bunch of like scenes?
Both. We use like UGC
interesting.
and scenes. I mean, I would say like we're like 95% video at this point. So not too much image stuff.
Interesting.
Although I'm kind of
cool.
letting my one of the media buyers I just hired wants to run some image stuff, so I'm kind of letting them do their thing. I think that's more of like a stylistic thing, but I do think that video tends to get a little bit better quality, and image tends to work a little bit faster, I would say.
Yeah, I'm the same on that, and we definitely see that, especially on like some of our financial stuff, man. Like I can get image profitable instantly, but like the quality's just not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, and like I don't want to tell you how to run your own team, but this is like one major key that I learned is like I was a strong believer in just like trusting the team to do what they needed to do. And just being like, oh, well, you know how to media buy, so I'm not going to like stand in your way. And I'm just going to give you insights to what's working and you can take that and run with it. But one thing that I'm learning now is like, people are not going to execute the same way that you would execute on stuff. And even if you pass some knowledge on, they're not going to instantly execute that. So what we're doing now is like setting sort of hard requirements of what's needed. And I don't know if you already had that. I'm a pretty loosey goosey kind of guy in that sense, and it didn't really serve me well. So now I'm making sure that like, okay, well that's great that you want to do images, but I also want to see like 20 videos out of you this week. And I feel like that has definitely flipped the script for me as well, and we're seeing much more success that way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is common knowledge to anyone who's ran a team before. But yeah, man, that's definitely one thing to consider is you got to put those hard rules in if you know what works.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, I think too, like stylistically, especially going into a new vertical, you kind of want to take the, like, I don't really rip anything just because I feel like some of the people might be my friends if I rip their head.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
But you know, like stylistically, I think going into any new vertical, you kind of want to test it fast, and you want to kind of take the same style that's already proven in the vertical, and then once you have like footing within that vertical, then you could go out and try to be creative. But
Yeah.
because you see like when auto, like certain styles of ads work, you know, for instance, like that long form McDonald's ad is like one that probably wouldn't work for anybody who doesn't know. I don't want to go too much into this because it might be someone's creative that's watching this.
Nobody cares.
But basically they film somebody at McDonald's and say that, you know, they can either, there's a bunch of scripts. One of them is they can either win something or like win a secret prize, and then they give them, you know, the secret prize is they lower their auto insurance basically. Like I feel like that stylistically probably wouldn't work for like, you know, Windows. You know,
that's true.
Like, so certain styles work for certain verticals. So I think it's better just if you're testing, like test fast within a vertical, see if you can get any traction on it. If not, just move to the next one. But just test, like,
I agree.
Test what's already proven. Don't rip it. At least I wouldn't rip it, but just, you know, be able to like go in quick and go out quick, I would say, and then go to the next one. And then eventually if you do that, you'll find something that works.
Yeah. I agree. I think that certain niches that work for specific people are not going to work for you, and vice versa, right? Like, and that's why it's just like, I think people get really hung up on the creative side of things, and they don't focus on switching out offers enough too, and they don't have like hard stop points.
For sure.
In terms of like budget that they're testing and so on and so forth. What's kind of like your hard stop in terms of like, let's say you fired up a new vertical tomorrow, how much are you spending before you sort of move on?
Depends. Like, I'll see if I'm getting traction or not. If I'm not, like, if I spend $1,000 and I don't even have a conversion, then I'm probably just moving on, you know. But if I'm like slightly negative, you know, and I've spent like $500, then I'm going to probably dive a little bit deeper into it. So it's more of a feel-based thing for me. I think probably at my point, I've been doing it long enough to where I can kind of get a sense of if it's promising or not. You know, so, yeah, it depends on the results you get back, you know. It's a case-by-case basis for me.
I agree. And people are always looking for hard numbers on that. And it's really like, I think it's more of like a conversion thing. If you're spending, it's constantly converting. Even if you're at a loss, it has legs. But if you're spending a shit ton and you're getting absolutely no leads at all, then just like fucking axe it and move on. Because there's like, you could maybe spend a few more grand and get it to the point that it needs to be. But like, are you willing to take that risk?
Yeah.
And most people aren't. So just because you hear your best friends doing like $10,000 a day on auto insurance or whatever the fuck it may be, I feel like that thought in the back of your head can sometimes fuck you because you chase shit that might not be worth chasing for you.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you know, Facebook is a black box as well. Like people get too caught up
Yeah.
in the numbers. Um, this is kind of my philosophy as well, is like what matters most is like what you're paying on a CPA basis. Like, because,
Yeah.
you know, you can have a high CPC in a vertical, and some people would cut that off, but that could just mean you're hitting like a high quality of traffic within, or high quality pocket of audience within that
Yeah.
you know, audience you're in. So a lot of times like CPMs and CPCs and stuff can be looked at too hard, I think, and people can judge it too fast. Unless you're like, you know, excluding the outliers. Like if you have a $500 CPM, yeah, your account's probably screwed.
For sure.
But anything else, I don't really, I don't even know what my CPMs are right now. I don't know what my CPCs are. I really just know what my cost per lead is.
Chadvertising.com.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But no, I agree with that, man. And like, that's why, like, I always tell everyone money in, money out. Like, unless you don't have that metric to go off in the beginning, I think that CPM, CPCs, and CTRs are somewhat valuable.
Yeah.
But once you start getting those leads in, that's what you got to focus on, is just like cost per lead, how much you're spending, how much you're making, and then tweak from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's huge. Oh, one thing I did want to ask you, man, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what software are you using for the AI creatives that you really enjoy?
So we use LipDub.
Yeah.
That's a big one for us. And then we just like rip content from YouTube and Facebook. We also use a little bit of HeyGen because the new model is fairly good on that.
Yeah.
There's a few others. My editor or my new media buyer actually, she came over from Sweepstakes, and they were using some interesting ones for like creating. She was showing me one for like making like selfies and stuff.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, we take all our, I don't know if it matters or not. I kind of just do it because I've heard from certain people that it does matter, and other people disagree.
Yeah.
But we take all our AI content as well and like switch out the metadata for like iPhone metadata, just because it's like, yeah, we have like a tool that does that. I think, you know, I think it makes a difference, especially the images. But I don't know, it might just be it might just be a facade, you know?
Yeah.
But
Samar gave a good talk on that at my Austin event on how to do that. And he was big on that. So
yeah. I mean, it's not going to make or break the campaign, but it definitely, I think it can make a little bit of a difference.
I often think on stuff like that, like if it's easy enough for you to do and it could make the difference, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't truly know.
I agree.
You know, like why wouldn't you? You know,
Yeah.
or you like, even if you have an outsourcer that you can train up to do that and it costs you pennies on the dollar, like just do it.
Yeah.
So
I guess one other like point of value that I touched on briefly that I can kind of insert here is just like find buyers. Like there's like people want to work with, as long as you're not like super shady or anything, people want to work with people that are going to give them leads, especially when they're paying you on like net 7 or like, you know, net 14. Like they're more than happy to test what you got going on. So, you know, it's not really that difficult to find these buyers. You just got to reach out to them in any way possible, whether it's email, LinkedIn, or calling them. But you can build a pretty good buyer stack. And I think that's really going to be, I think that's one of the big reasons that we've done decent, you know, is because of that. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think that as much as I love affiliate, and I think that there's still tons of money to be made there, there is an easier path once you've sort of figured out how to run ads, how the affiliate world works in terms of the lead gen, or how the lead gen world works. Let's say that instead.
Yeah.
To start transferring over and working direct with these people. Cause like, even for us, man, on like Windows offers or whatever, our direct stuff is always looked way better than running through a network, even though it's the exact same offer.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know if it has to do with the redirects or what but like it makes a fucking difference. So
yeah.
It's definitely worth going direct. And if you can own your flow and like have that good domain reputation and just like sell the leads through like Leadspedia or whatever you want to do, I think it creates way more longevity.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you know, even like branching out into verticals that people aren't doing currently. Like I came across these old folks' homes and
Yeah.
they basically pay up to $4,000 to bring someone in on a commission basis. Things like this, like maybe there's already a call center set up for that, and you just got to do a little bit of research on it, and then you can get plugged in with them. Stuff like this, or like go on Offer Vault and look for like different like unique verticals, and then see if you can find buyers on the back end. I think that's really, really, something that can bring you to the next level, more or less.
Yeah, for sure. And even not even lead gen stuff, but there's tons of brands out there that have like great brands or great products, but they only maybe are like selling stuff via social media in terms of like natural engagement or, like views or videos or whatever the fuck it is. And they may not know how to run paid traffic, right? Because that's not like their forte. They're just building up content forever.
Yeah.
Even if you take that, like if you create that partnership with them and take that existing content that's already worked, like you literally have hundreds of fucking ads there already. You just need to add a call to action and push some money to it.
For sure.
So there's tons of opportunity out there. You just have to go look for it.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Anyway, man, it's getting late where you are. I'm gonna let you go. But I'm excited for you and your new endeavor. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's you committed. I love that you committed. So I guess I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah.
At some point. And yeah, I don't know if it's your thing or not, but if anyone wants to reach out to you and ask you any questions, what's the best way to do so? Or you can tell them to fuck off. It's fine by me.
You can reach out. I think my Telegram's like H-binary1. And my
Okay.
new, you got to reach out on the Chadvertising email if you're going to reach out, which is hunter@chadvertising.com. I don't have anything on the domain, but
Dude, you just need to put that meme there. That's it.
I'm thinking about making like a 90s style, but like just for fun. It's not really something I'm going to take seriously, and I think only people in the space will get it.
Yeah.
But I might waste a few hours trying to put something together, like some 90s style website on it or something.
Dude, I support it. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for your time. And
Yeah, and really quick before you go, like big shout out to your course, because I think that's really the key component. Your course is definitely like well worth the price, and made a big like it basically made the make or break for me. So I appreciate it.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I really appreciate that too. Have you been to my event?
Yeah, I went to the one in Miami.
Which one did you come to?
Miami.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I'm just gonna plug my next one's coming up November 6th, 7th in Austin, Texas, and already the speaker lineup is fucking killer. So I'm stoked for that one.
Yeah,
so
definitely make that event if you can. Everything Gabe does is pretty solid in the space, and he doesn't like to plug himself, but he's pretty good at what he does.
Just trying to add value, bro. Just trying to make sure everyone makes a buck or two. So
For sure.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Cool.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Later.